Biodiversity. It means all the different species of plants, animals, fish, birds, insects, and all the different kinds of life around us. Biodiversity is essential to our survival. The vast array of species and ecosystems in our lands and seas shields us from the shocks of extreme changes in our climate. Biodiversity regulates the atmosphere for clean air and fresh water. It makes our lands fertile and supplies us with medicines. But if we lose more and more species, the more our ecosystems weaken, and the more we threaten our own survival. The Philippines is one of only 17 countries in the entire world that is mega diverse. Of the 52,000 species, more than half of them are unique in all the world. If we lose them, the world loses them. Biodiversity is also important to our economy. The viability of our agriculture, fisheries, and forestry sectors depends on our biodiversity, providing jobs and helping us achieve inclusive growth for our people. Biodiversity provides an estimated 2.9 trillion pesos per year in benefits and services to our economy. But we are continuously threatening our biodiversity with overexploitation, destruction of natural habitats, climate change, pollution, and introduction of invasive alien species. Our future depends on us arresting these threats. Investment in this crucial area has been alarmingly small. From 2008 to 2013, our country's level of spending for biodiversity conservation was only about 4.9 billion pesos annually, equivalent to a mere 0.08% of GDP and 0.31% of the national budget. As a party to the Convention on Biological Diversity, the Philippines has formulated a roadmap towards biodiversity conservation. That is, the Philippine Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan. Implementing and achieving the plan's targets will contribute to realizing the country's Ambisyon Natin 2040 and the administration's 10-point agenda. It also contributes to achieving the 20 Aichi biodiversity targets and the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. The Philippine Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan requires an investment of 23.9 billion pesos every year until 2028. Set against our government's current allocation of 4.9 billion, there is an 80% financing gap that urgently needs to be filled to successfully implement the plan. The Biodiversity Finance Initiative, or BioFin in the Philippines, helps close the funding gap for the implementation of our national plan. BioFin brings a new way of biodiversity management through sound finance and economic thinking. This initiative aims to mobilize new resources to finance nature and sustainable development, deliver better and more efficient biodiversity outcomes, improve spending efficiency, and choose current investments that save money for the future. The BioFin process uses a series of assessments to help create the blueprint for conservation, the biodiversity policy and institutional review, the biodiversity expenditure review, a financial needs assessment, and the biodiversity finance plan. BioFin is initiating several finance solutions and vision to mobilize resources amounting to 20 billion pesos by 2020. Finance solutions are strategies aimed at opening multiple sources of funding to allow the Philippines to implement our national and local biodiversity finance plans and projects. They can be used alone or in different combinations to create new products that can make biodiversity projects more effective. For finance solutions aimed at supporting national agencies, moves will be made to develop an investment program for protected areas, realign DE&R budgets, help advocate for increased funding among other national government agencies, state colleges, and universities, maximizing the Integrated Protected Areas Fund and Environmental Trust Funds. For finance solutions aimed at strengthening local government action, the plan aims to increase LGU's own resources of revenues for locally managed protected areas, improve access for earmarked funds, and fund transfers for projects. For finance solutions involving the general public, the plan envisions crowdfunding among citizens and mobilizing the diaspora community. For finance solutions targeted to the private sector, the plan aims to tap corporate social responsibility programs, harness public-private partnerships for the protected areas sector, explore impact investments, and create new sources of revenues from sales of gaming apps and other products. BioFin helps foster better communication and collaboration between government, civil society, and the private sector. It raises the importance of nature in national planning and budgeting for sustainable development. It also fosters knowledge sharing and cooperation among countries. With BioFin, we will be able to plan and implement innovative solutions to finance conservation and protect our biodiversity for ourselves today and in the future. BioFin. Finance for nature.
Forest Foundation Philippines is a non-governmental organization providing grants and technical assistance to organizations and individuals that empower the people to protect and conserve forests. Established in 2002, under 2 bilateral agreements between the governments of the Philippines and United States of America, the Foundation has been managing the Tropical Forest Conservation Fund for forest protection, restoration, and conservation. From then until 2016, under the first Tropical Forest Conservation Fund, the Foundation and its partners were able to achieve transformative actions that led to greater endeavors. Guided by the strategies in its Results Framework 2017 to 2021, the Foundation has also supported 326 projects in the country's most critical forest landscapes, restored 1,243 hectares of forests, improved over 1 million hectares of forest lands, strengthened 211 community-based organizations, and supported 108 community-level livelihoods. Forest lands comprise 52% of Philippines' total land area, providing food and livelihood for roughly 25 million Filipinos. But the country continues to suffer from diminishing forest cover due to natural and anthropogenic causes, including large-scale logging and land conversion activities. Only 6.8 million hectares of forest lands remain as of 2010. Deforestation contributes to climate-related disasters, and with annual damages worth about $8.45 billion. This is why we are rooting for the future with the Results Framework for 2023 to 2027. This framework follows a holistic, collaborative, and transdisciplinary approach to protect and sustainably manage the forests for water, land productivity, and biodiversity to support climate action and achieve our 4 outcomes to grow forests. Opportunities, partners, and advocates. Our actions affect the forests, and what happens to the forests affects us. We commit to strengthening the relationship between people and forests, sustained by strong partnerships for future generations. Join us in setting solid roots and foundations for a better tomorrow. Learn more at www.forestfoundation.ph.
A pleasant day to everyone and good evening from Manila. I am Angie, Communications Officer for Biofin Philippines, and we are here today for the Animal Town Global launch. I'm sure most of you are already playing Animal Town, but if not, you can simply scan the QR code over my shoulder, download and start gaming for good. But before we officially start the program, very quick house rules. Please turn off your cameras for now. We will request everyone to turn on your cameras later for our group shot. But for now, please turn off your cameras and your microphones. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box so we can answer them later. Of course, we also want to know how you can help spread gaming for good that is Animal Town. So let us know how you can help expand the reach of the game and get more Animal Town players in your countries by clicking the Mentimeter link in your chat box or by scanning the Mentimeter QR code on your screens. Now, let me hand over the floor to Ono, who will be our facilitator for tonight's event. Over to you, Ono.
Thank you so much, Angie, and I'm really excited to be here today for this global launch. I think it's a very significant moment because, as you know, UNEP's Biodiversity Finance Initiative, or BioFin, is a kind of journey to find finance for nature. And one of the conclusions that we have is that there's actually a lot of finance around the world, and we just haven't tapped into so many sources yet. And one of those is actually the gaming industry. And as usual, Philippines is setting the best examples. We have been sharing a lot the work done under G-Forest, the fintech application, which has led to the planting of, I think, almost 3 million trees, which is quite amazing. And therefore, we really hope this gaming app can be a similar success. And I think it's good news for the lazy environmentalists. So people, I think everybody's watching TV and seeing a lot of things happening and feeling powerless to contribute. But actually, with this kind of gaming app, you can play a game and you can actually also contribute to a better world at the same time. So very good news for people who are somewhere in a living room on a couch and trying to make a difference. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the government of the Philippines, in particular DENR and the Forest Foundation and UNEP for this excellent cooperation to make this happen. And I think also, Philippines is the #1 texting capital of the world, and 99% of Filipinos have a mobile phone. So there's a lot of potential for this kind of app. But also, if you look at the global level, at the gaming industry, it's a $1 billion business, and it has been for many years. I think it's only going up. So in 2022, the gaming market was estimated to be around $347 billion, which is huge. And the mobile gaming market within that is by far the largest share, with around 248 billion. So I think we don't have to go in the gaming app business to those billions, but let's try at least first to channel some millions to nature. So this is the core idea of Animal Town. So we're trying to work on games that, instead of channeling the revenue to some stockholder or business owner, actually the money will go, in this case, to the Forest Foundation, but to a very important objective for our society. And of course, one of the most important objectives is biodiversity. We've been losing 70% of our species since the 70s, and it's really time to bring them back. So I think for now, in our field of development finance, this is a niche market, but we will hope that this game can be a success and can be expanded. to become a very important finance source for nature in the future. So without further ado, let us now hear from Dr. Selva Ramachandran, the UNDP resident representative of the Philippines. He will speak to us through a video.
Thank you all for joining us for global launch of Animal Town, the first mobile game designed to mobilize finance for nature in the Philippines. We in UNDP are always excited to explore how innovative finance solutions and partnerships can be leveraged to generate additional revenue for enhancing biodiversity management. We sincerely thank the UK government for continuously providing the support and resources needed in developing the game. We are also thankful for the European Union and the governments of Germany, Norway, Flanders, Switzerland, Belgium, Canada, and France for the support that made this possible. Animal Town is a case in point. We have partnered with Forest Foundation Philippines to help transform the Animal Town game app proceeds into publicly available grants. The grants will support the Department of Environment and Natural Resources' biodiversity conservation agenda embodied in the Philippines Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan, or the PBSAP. We envision this mobile game to go beyond entertainment. We see this being translated into palpable impact on the ground in the form of programs and projects as we work closely with partner conservation communities. Biodiversity is essential for life on Earth, supporting our economy, food, water, health, and protection from climate change impacts. The Philippines, a biodiversity powerhouse, boasts some of the world's most unique species, yet faces persistent threats. But we can make a difference. Animal Town represents a significant milestone in our sustainability journey. This game, designed not only for entertainment, but to bring biodiversity closer to us all, aims to kindle appreciation of our rich biodiversity and its role in climate change mitigation and adaptation. On behalf of UNDP Philippines, we are committed to continue working with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Together, we will develop innovative finance mechanisms to contribute to the achievement of the targets under the Philippines Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan, the Philippines Development Plan, the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework, and the UN Sustainable Development Goals targets 13, 14, and 15. Let us join hands towards a greener, bluer, more resilient, and sustainable future. Thank you very much, and good evening to all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Selva, for your words. And I think that UNDP Philippines has done a great job to manage the program there, and to in particular be very open-minded about doing, you know, very innovative work. And I just also want to highlight that I'm also an Animal Town player already. I'm playing it together with my daughter, and she likes it a lot. And it's not only raising the revenue, but also actually you learn a lot about conservation when playing the game. There's lots of quizzes and challenges as well. And we also really appreciate the government of the Philippines to be a pioneer in biodiversity finance, and be a strong supporter of this work. And I think we are very proud to have today the DNR headed by Secretary Maria Antonia Yulo Lozaga, who's very much supporting this work. And also we are very fortunate that we have today the Undersecretary for Legal and Administration, Mr. Ernesto Adobo. Mr. Adobo, it's really wonderful to have you with us for this very exciting global launch. And please share with us your views about this gaming app and what it can do for your country. Mr. Adobo, I believe we can still not hear you. I'm not sure if there's any issue on your end. Yes, that's perfect.
Thank you.
We definitely want people around the world to hear you very well. Thank you.
Good evening from Manila, and good morning perhaps to those in other time zones. UNDP Nature Hub Director Midori Paxton, UNDP Biodiversity Finance Portfolio Global Head Onovan Dan Yuval, BioFin donor organizations and countries, UNDP Philippines Resident Representative Dr. Zalba Ramachandran, and to everyone, good evening. First and foremost, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all joining us tonight at the global launch of Animal Town, the first ever mobile game in the Philippines designed to mobilize funds for nature conservation. Today is a significant day as we come together to unveil this innovative application to the international stage. Animal Town goes beyond entertainment. It is a powerful tool to raise awareness and appreciation for nature conservation and climate change resilience. It also offers a way for people worldwide to contribute meaningfully to this cause. Biodiversity encompasses all life on Earth and is essential for various reasons, including economic benefits, food, water, health, well-being, and protection against climate change impacts. The Philippines is a biodiversity hotspot with some of the world's most unique species. Unfortunately, it is increasingly under threat, but we have the power to make a difference. We gather today not just as individuals, but as guardians of our planet, united by a common mission to protect the delicate balance of our natural world in the face of climate change. Globally, we know that investments in nature can be financially viable and the traditional financing models. And there are emerging solutions that address regulatory and legal challenges. Our commitment to conserving the Philippines' unique, diverse natural resources remains strong. And today's initiative brings us closer to that goal. At the department, we aim to explore alternative mechanisms move away from conventional approaches, and discover innovative ways to finance nature conservation and combat the impact of climate change. The challenges in conservation and climate change adaptation are enormous, and traditional methods alone may not be enough. Today is a major milestone in our journey towards sustainability as we introduce Animal Town to the global arena. Our country being highly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, such as sea level rise, increased frequency of extreme weather events, rising temperatures, and extreme rainfall, can make use of technology to help address these issues. Animal Town is designed not only for entertainment, but also to bring biodiversity closer to all of us, fostering appreciation for our rich biodiversity and its vital role in climate change mitigation and adaptation. Animal Town combines technology, entertainment, education, and environmental awareness. It has the potential to transform how we, especially the young, gaming population, perceive and engage in conservation efforts. As we explore the virtual world of this game, let us remember the impacts reach beyond digital world. Through Animal Town, we can contribute to the real world cause of protecting and restoring the invaluable biodiversity of the Philippines. I sincerely thank the developers, partners, and everyone involved in making this vision a reality. Together, we can redefine biodiversity financing and climate change adaptation, turning our screen time into tangible impact. I am also appealing to our biofilm counterparts and partners in other countries to help us expand the reach of Animal Town and get more people to play the game. Make this mobile game ignite the sense of responsibility and shared purpose within each of us. Let us use the power of gaming to mobilize resources for conservation and build a resilient future where our biodiversity and communities thrive despite the challenges of climate change. Thank you, and let the game for biodiversity awareness, conservation, financing, and climate resilience begin.
Thank you so much, Undersecretary Adobo, for these words. And I do hope that a lot of people around the world will take your call and either play the game or also share the news about this game. And I think it's a good news for people who want to make a difference because, of course, we know about mechanisms like crowdfunding, which has been also a very big success in the Philippines in the past, where people have stepped up in very large numbers to contribute with UNDP support for the Tamara during the pandemic. And the good news for people now is that we can also make a difference without a financial contribution simply by playing a game. So that's excellent. And so now that we know that the app will generate revenue for nature, it will be important to understand how exactly that funding will then be channeled to where it's needed. And so we have with us the ENR Biodiversity Management Bureau Assistant Director Armida Andres to help us understand this. And Ms. Andres, over to you.
Thank you, Ono. Can you hear me well? Can you
Loud
hear
and clear.
Okay, thank you. To Undersecretary Ernesto Adobo Jr., sir, and to you again, Ono, Ms. Midori Paxton, who's the UNDP Nature Hub Director, Attorney Ongi Canibel, Ms. Annabel Plantilla, biofilm donors and partners, thank you for being with us in this innovative venture to support conservation efforts and to ensure a sustainable future for nature and for future generations to come. We at the DNR Biodiversity Management Bureau are always in pursuit of ways to support our protected areas beyond the regular budget of the government. Innovative finance solutions and partnerships are ways to do such. And this summarizes our decade-long work together with the UNDP through its Biodiversity Finance Initiative, or BioFin, which brings us to Animal Town. This game application is designed to increase awareness and drive financing for biodiversity conservation. Through an engaging gameplay, users learn about Philippines' unique and diverse species and ecosystems, bridging a deeper connection between its players and the planet. Based on a study, there are an estimated 30.4 million gamers in the Philippines, with 12.6 million spending money on games at an average of $13 per year. Albeit this is lower than the average for ASEAN, the opportunities for expansion are huge, with more than 46 million users of mobile apps. Further research shows that Animal Town has the potential to raise nearly $14,000 upon launching, partnered with extensive marketing and promotions of the game. Your Animal Town game time and ad views translate into real-time world impacts. We've partnered with the Forest Foundation Philippines to help transform the Animal Town game app proceeds into publicly available grants to support DNR's biodiversity conservation agenda, embodied in the Philippine Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan, or our NBSAP. The revenue players help generate through the game will directly go into projects that will safeguard ecosystems and empower communities in 9 law and non-earning protected areas, all of which are tagged as key biodiversity areas in the Philippines. Protected areas and KBAs are recognized as the most important places in the Philippines for species and their habitats. But these critical havens, although shielded by legislation, lack resources. These grant projects funded by Animal Town app earnings will enable relevant conservation activities in these sites, such as research, assessments, development of conservation action plans, stakeholder capacity building, livelihood development, and other similar initiatives that will empower its guardians. These activities will primarily focus on addressing urgent needs of the communities in the identified priority sites, ultimately maximizing impact for biodiversity. In that note, Animal Town grant projects will also benefit its resident threatened species that also need attention. Many lesser-known threatened species struggle without the spotlight. Our grants will empower projects focused on their protection and recovery. Animal Town gives room for innovative approaches too. Game app revenue may be channeled to other effective area-based conservation measures, or OECMs, involving effective community-driven solutions for biodiversity. You don't need to be an expert to make a difference. Animal Town gives anyone with a mobile device an opportunity to participate in conservation efforts anywhere in the world. So sit back, relax, and start gaming for good. Animal Town currently has almost 18,000 players, but we need more. This is why we need your help. Help us expand the reach of the Animal Town and generate more finance for nature. We hope you can share these with your friends, family, and colleagues. On behalf of the DNR's Biodiversity Management Bureau, we are committed to continue to work with UNDP BioFin and the Forest Foundation Philippines to ensure that this initiative will contribute not only to the Philippine Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan and the country's development plan, but to relevant international commitment embodied in the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. The vision for Animal Town is clear, but its success will rely on your support. Play Animal Town now and start gaming for good. Together, we can create a lasting impact for nature, for our generation and the generations to come. Thank you very much. And again, good evening to everyone.
Thank you so much for helping us understand the revenue management for Animal Town. And I think it's particularly well chosen to support underfunded protected areas, those that are perhaps not easy to reach, that maybe don't receive a lot of visitors or don't have like a very iconic species. So I think this is a great choice, and all the more reason to share the word about this game. We are, and thank you so much, Ms. Andres. We are a little bit behind schedule, but we still want to have a short discussion as well. So I'm just checking the chat box if there were any questions yet, and I don't see any. And if you have any questions, then you can type them now. But I think we'll just anyway go ahead. We have a few experts with us. We have, of course, Ms. Andes, who we just heard from. We have Annabelle Plantilla, who's heading BioFin Philippines, and we have Jose Carnaval from the Forest Foundation of Philippines, who are, of course, the organization who's making sure the money will go to very good causes. So great to have you with us today as well. Yeah, let me just have a look again at the chat box. So I don't see any immediate questions. So I'm just going to start with Annabelle, if you don't mind. So can you tell us a bit more about how you got to this idea, and what was the inspiration, behind doing this exciting gaming app?
Yes, thank you, Ono, and a good day to everyone. Of course, our inspiration, as Assistant Director Arnida Andres mentioned earlier, there are 30 million gamers in the country, and actually I'm also one of those gamers. And we see the potential of tapping this sector in terms of, mobilizing resources for biodiversity conservation. Over to you, Ono. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm just seeing a question here. Hello, I'm just 8 years old from the Philippines. Wonderful to have a real game here. Which is better, sign in the game or not? I think this is a very much an expert question. So perhaps, Annabelle, are you the one who can answer it?
Sign in. What do you mean by sign in? I mean, Jace, have you downloaded the app?
I think perhaps we can just add that anyone can download the app, and actually it's for free to play it, and you can help generate revenue when there's any ad or in-app purchase made, but they're not required, of course, the in-app. You can play it. I reached already level 20 myself without the in-app purchase, but of course I made some anyway for the good cause. There's another second question. Is there a dedicated team that will monitor that the ads shown are kid-friendly? This is a very critical question. Who would like to pick up that question?
May I try to answer the question? Since I also play the game like Ono, I actually watch most of the ads, and from all the ads that I've seen, most of them are actually kid-friendly.
Yeah, and I can confirm that I'm playing it together with my 7-year-old daughter, and I've only seen very appropriate advertisement. But definitely it's something that is really critical, that we must put priority in and see whatever we can do. So I think that, perhaps, Mr. Canivel, we could move to you. We already heard that you're the one responsible for channeling the money to good causes, which I think people don't realize this is one of the most challenging parts of such a gaming app as well. How exactly you channel, you channel the revenue, and perhaps you can tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Yes, thank you, Ono, a good day to all of our viewers. Well, the first step actually is to come into an agreement with our key stakeholders, the Biodiversity Management Bureau and the DNR, to set priorities, whether these are areas, these are species, or these are activities that would be consistent with the Philippine Biodiversity Strategy Action Plan. So once those priority actions or priority areas are set, we will then make a call for proposal to make sure and invite the public, and have them develop proposals, turn in ideas, and submit their projects and through project proposals to a grants portal that we will make available for those that actually go through the grants portal and are accepted. They will then be evaluated and reviewed by an expert technical working group to make sure that the planned or proposed actions will indeed respond to the conservation priorities that the Biodiversity Management Bureau has identified. After a due evaluation, we can then move towards the awarding of grants to eligible organizations or individuals, and these proponents will be notified, and funds will be released to them so that they can begin implementation of their projects. We will, of course, be monitoring the implementation of these projects jointly with the Biodiversity Management Bureau and members of the technical working group. We will create actually a participatory project monitoring framework together with the grant holder as well and RTWG, so that we're leveled off in terms of key milestones, key deliverables, and these projects can last from 3 months all the way to a year in terms of project activity implementation. We think that short projects or projects that have a short duration, of course, can be good incubations for ideas, for solutions, and these can then be scaled up and pursued further.
Right.
But I think our role here is primarily to facilitate the grant making and ensure that revenues out of the game app are used in biodiversity conservation activities by eligible partners, focusing primarily on key conservation priorities of the Philippines.
Thank you so much, Mr. Carnival, and that's very clear, and it looks like you have a very detailed process. And just one small follow-up question, because it seems you're a real specialist in this, and I think that Forest Foundation has been around for a while. So how long have you been already providing such grants? Please share with us quickly. How long is Forest Foundation around?
Forest Foundation has been providing grants since 2005. I've been a grant maker for 17 years now, and that's been the focus of our work at the foundation and my work personally, to make sure that we're able to support these ideas that conserve forests and forest biodiversity for not just for the sake of biodiversity conservation, but also for people's livelihoods and people's welfare as well.
Thank you. So it's clear that the funds are in good hands there with such a experienced organization. And I have one eye, of course, on the chat box, and there was some question about signing in are not, and it seems that it's not a requirement. You can go straight away into playing, but you can still sign in with Google to make sure that all your data is linked and well stored. So that's going on in the chat box, and there's some other people reacting and reflecting. But I think we'll just like to go to the last question for Ms. Andres. And so I think we have understood very well that how the app works and how it's channeling revenue. Of course, another important question is what happens from here. So we have this app now. Of course, an organization like UNDP is involved for a while, but what's your long-term plan for this kind of gaming app?
Thank you, Ono. We have prepared a sustainability plan for this. The Animal Town will be turned over to the DNR to BMB upon completion of an operations manual. The operations manual is currently being prepared by a technical working group at the BMB with the Biofin and the Forest Foundation Philippines. So guided by that operations manual and upon selection of an external fund manager. But this time we have already approached FFP to be our fund manager. So together with them, we will be the one to lead the revenue generation and grant making efforts for the Animal Town. And the operations manual will also be the one to provide us the smooth transition, for the incoming project management team and guarantee that Animal Town app remains a powerful tool for supporting conservation efforts for the years to come. So that's our plan. We won't stop here. We are making sure that it's going to be institutionalized, mainstreamed in the government process, of course, with the help of Biofin and Forest Foundation Philippines. Thank you, Ono.
Sorry, thanks for explaining that, Ms. Andres. You've put in a lot of detailed work, so taking this very, very seriously. And of course, we have to be very serious, and it is all about using money from people all around the world. Let's see how many people in how many countries will do this game. I hope a lot. And this launch also is not, the final event. We're going to promote that all over the world, of course, through our UNDP networks. So thank you for this brief panel. And answering these questions. I think we're a little bit over time, but we would like to invite one more very exciting speaker. I talked in the beginning a bit about lazy environmentalists, but now I'm very proud to announce one of the hardest working environmentalists in the world, who's leading our Nature Hub, Ms. Midori Paxton. And she has really, developed the topic of finance into one of the top priorities and a whole new generation of programs, including she's one of the founding mothers of the TNFD that you may have heard about, which is basically about private companies reporting on what they do related to nature. And she's also been responsible for Biofin for many years. And and she's a very strong supporter of doing this kind of innovative work as well. So we're really happy to have her with us today. So Midori, over to you for some final reflections.
Right. Thank you so much, Ono, for your kind words. And thank you, everyone, for this engaging and very informative launch of Animal Town. And I hope this session has inspired many Biofin country teams across the world, whom I believe are on this session. So the potential of digital finance amongst many, biodiversity finance solutions is immense, and also potential of digital finance for, in support of SDGs. So in this regard, in fact, in 2020, the UN Secretary General launched a task force on digital finance, some of you may know. And this task force looks at how digital finance can be harnessed in ways that empower citizens as taxpayers and investors to better align people's money with their needs and collective aspirations, which are expressed within the 17 SDGs. So Animal Town is an example of how digital technologies can be leveraged to direct finance towards conservation and restoration of nature. So I'd like to congratulate Biofin on another cutting-edge finance solution for nature. And I'd like to also thank the government of the Philippines, in particular the Environment and Natural Resources Department, as well as our colleagues at the Philippines Country Office for your joint ownership of Biofin's vision for sustainable finance for nature and people. And we'd like to also thank Forest Foundation Philippines for their strong partnership and our Biofin donors who have supported the program and also development of this gaming app, notably the governments of the United Kingdom and Germany. We are also, on our side, currently in discussion with various units and organizations to expand the reach of Animal Town. This includes UNDP's Global Center for Technology in Singapore, our Communication and Partnership Bureau and Communities of Practice, and also more externally, the fintech company Ant International and the gaming company Planet Play, who already has an existing partnership with UNDP. So we look forward to channeling the revenue from Animal Town into actual programs that will support priority conservation projects across the Philippines, as described earlier. So please do promote Animal Town in your respective countries through your networks and platforms, and let's continue to play our way to a greener and bluer planet. Thank you, everybody, and happy gaming. Back to you, Ono.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Midori, and I think that ends our global launch. So indeed, let's hope that the people are inspired to play, share, and also replicate this amazing idea. So I would like to thank everyone for joining and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Nice evening.
Good evening, everybody.